In the wake of Chaeronea and the establishment of the League of Corinth in 337 BCE, Philip II of Macedon stood as the most powerful man in the Greek world. His grand Pan-Hellenic crusade against Persia was taking shape, and his son Alexander had proven himself a capable military commander. Yet, at this very moment of triumph, Philip made a decision that would sow deep discord within his own family, alienate his chosen heir, and create a dangerous rift in the Macedonian court. He decided to take another wife. Polygamy was not unusual for Macedonian kings. It was often a tool of diplomacy and alliance building, and Philip himself had several wives. Olympias, Alexander's mother, was Philip's fourth or fifth wife, depending on how one counts. And while she held a prominent position as the mother of the heir apparent, their relationship had long been stormy and fraught with tension. Philip's new bride was a young Macedonian noblewoman named Cleopatra, the niece of Attalus, one of Philip's most trusted and influential generals. To distinguish her from Alexander's sister of the same name, she is often referred to by historians as Cleopatra Eurydice, as she may have taken the dynastic name Eurydice upon her marriage. This marriage was different from Philip's previous unions with foreign princesses, which were primarily political. Cleopatra Eurydice was a pure-blooded Macedonian aristocrat. For Philip, this marriage may have been driven by genuine affection, a desire for a younger companion, or perhaps a strategic move to further solidify his support among the powerful Macedonian nobility, particularly with a general as important as Attalus. However, for Olympias and Alexander, it represented a profound threat. Olympias, the proud Epirote princess, saw Cleopatra Eurydice as a direct rival for Philip's affection and influence. More critically, any son born from this union would be a full-blooded Macedonian on both sides. Unlike Alexander, whose mother was Epirote, this could potentially give a new son a stronger claim to the throne in the eyes of some Macedonian traditionalists, undermining Alexander's position as heir. The simmering tensions erupted publicly and dramatically at the wedding banquet, a notoriously raucous affair in Macedonian tradition. Attalus, Cleopatra's uncle, flushed with wine and pride, proposed a toast, praying that the gods would grant Philip and Cleopatra a legitimate heir to the throne. The implication was clear and deeply insulting. Alexander, with his foreign mother, was somehow less legitimate. Alexander, fiercely proud and quick-tempered, reacted furiously. "Villain," he shouted, "am I then a bastard?" He hurled his drinking cup at Attalus. Attalus retaliated in kind. The banquet descended into an ugly brawl. Philip, enraged by the public disrespect and the challenge to his new marriage, rose to his feet and drew his sword, apparently intending to strike Alexander. However, fueled by wine and his own anger, Philip stumbled and fell. Alexander, in a moment of bitter scorn, is reported by Plutarch to have jeered, "See there, men. He who was preparing to cross from Europe to Asia is overturned in trying to cross from one couch to another." This public humiliation and the clear threat from Philip were intolerable for Alexander. The incident exposed the deep fault lines within the royal family. Alexander, accompanied by his enraged mother Olympias, immediately left Pella. Olympias returned to her native Epirus, to the court of her brother, King Alexander I of Epirus, who was, ironically, also Philip's son-in-law, married to Alexander's sister, Cleopatra. Alexander himself went into exile in Illyria, a region his father had fought hard to subdue, seeking refuge with one of the Illyrian kings. This was a grave crisis for Philip. His chosen heir and most promising general was now estranged and in exile, potentially capable of stirring up trouble among Macedon's historically restive neighbors. His influential wife, Olympias, was also alienated and in a position to rally support in Epirus. With the invasion of Persia imminent, Philip could not afford such deep divisions and potential threats to his rear. Efforts were made to reconcile. Demeritus of Corinth, a respected family friend, reportedly traveled to Macedon and mediated between father and son. He tactfully pointed out to Philip the inconsistency of trying to unite Greece and lead an expedition to Asia, while his own household was in such disarray. Philip, pragmatic as ever, recognized the danger. He knew he needed Alexander, whose military talents were already apparent and whose loyalty, if secured, was vital. Eventually, Alexander was persuaded to return to Pella. But the reconciliation was uneasy, and the trust between father and son, and certainly between Philip and Olympias, was severely damaged. Olympias remained in Epirus for some time, a brooding and resentful presence. The position of Attalus and his niece, Cleopatra Eurydice, remained strong at court, a constant reminder of the slight. Alexander, though back in Macedon, was likely wary and watchful. The situation was further complicated when Pixodaris, the Persian satrap of Caria, sought an alliance with Philip, proposing a marriage between his daughter and Philip's other son. Philip, Aridius, Alexander's intellectually disabled half-brother. Alexander, perhaps fearing this alliance, was intended to promote Aridius as heir at his expense, or, instigated by Olympias, who fanned his suspicions, secretly sent an envoy to Pixodaris, offering himself as a more suitable husband for the Carian princess. When Philip discovered this unauthorized diplomatic maneuvering, he was furious. He publicly berated Alexander, banished some of Alexander's closest friends, including Harpalus, Nericus, Erigaius, Laomedon, and Ptolemy, and accused him of trying to undermine his authority. This Pixodaris affair further strained the already fragile relationship. Thus, in the months leading up to the planned invasion of Persia, the Macedonian royal court was far from a harmonious unit. It was rife with suspicion, jealousy, and resentment. Philip, despite his immense political and military successes, had failed to manage the complex dynamics of his own family. The insult at the wedding, the exile of Alexander and Olympias, and the subsequent tensions created an atmosphere of instability and uncertainty. This deep personal rift centered on issues of succession, legitimacy, and Philip's new marriage would have profound and tragic consequences, casting a long, dark shadow that would soon culminate in an act of violence that would once again change the course of Macedonian history. Hope you enjoyed our video. For more such videos, like and subscribe our channel. Take good care of people and environment around you. Plant a tree, even if you see the day of judgment imminent. Saying of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who also said, don't waste water, even if you're sitting next to a running stream. Stay blessed, always.